Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fabulous edition of the 411 with Rehab. As always, I've got lovely guests with me today. Ladies, go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks.
My name's Shronda Shannon, and I'm the Director of Non-Clinical Services for Hospice of San Angelo.
Wonderful.
And I'm Schmeltekopf. I'm the Director of Bereavement Services with West Texas Rehab's Hospice of San Angelo.
Wonderful. So November is a very significant month for y'all. What is that month?
November is National Hospice and Palliative Care Month, and it's just a great time to raise awareness for the awesome care hospice care is.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing here today. So those are two different things, hospice and palliative care. For those who may not understand, how would you explain both of those?
Palliative care is care when someone is no longer receiving curative or aggressive treatment, but they are not appropriate for hospice care. In order to have a hospice diagnosis, you must have, or to be hospice appropriate, you must have a diagnosis of 6 months or less to live.
Okay, so different for sure. Different things. Okay, so let's talk about what all is offered there. What all y'all do at the rehab center?
At hospice?
At hospice.
Hospice of San Angelo, hospice care, a lot of people think it's a place, and it's not a place. It's a philosophy of care, and it's highly trained professionals that offer not only medical, but psychosocial, spiritual bereavement, and we support the patient and the family. So it's a team effort. We have volunteers, and so just helping our patients live the best they can live with their life-limiting illness for as long as they have. Make those days the best they can be. That's our goal.
That's great. That's a great goal, because I'm sure sometimes this is probably an uncomfortable topic for people to talk about.
Right.
But how do you, I guess, overcome that hurdle and just start talking about it?
I think that things like this help to get the word out. There's so many stereotypes about hospice, and so this is a great opportunity to just let people know what it's truly about. And for those people who are in need, when you're facing that news from your doctor, it just, our hope is that it feels like there is hope, that there's somebody who's going to walk with me in this, and I'm not going to have to do this alone, and these days aren't going to be as sad and lonely as I think people, when they first get the news, think. The theme for this year is it's about how you live. And I think that is such a perfect way to look at hospice, because we want those days, the way you live, to be the best they can be for as long as you have. And that's what we're here to do.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So you mentioned some of the stereotypes. What are some of those that come up often, and what do you wish you could tell people about them?
Oftentimes, people think when they are referred to hospice, it means they're going to die within the next day or two.
Oh.
And actually, that's not true at all. And what we know from research is that the people who come on hospice services actually live longer than people with the same diagnosis who don't seek hospice services.
Oh, wow.
Because there is so much support. There's the social work support, the nursing support, the chaplain spiritual care support, bereavement support, CNAs. And so that is a huge myth. And oftentimes people will say, oh, I wish that we had called you all in earlier if we had known what all was available to us. And with Hospice of San Angelo, there is never a bill. Our services our patients are never charged. And that also is a myth. People will say, how much is this going to cost me?
Yeah, I'm sure they think it's going to be super expensive.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow, that is fantastic. So no bills ever.
Ever.
Wow, that is amazing. Mm-hmm. That is amazing. So for that transition, I guess, how do people, how do y'all help people the most with that transition?
I feel like meeting their physical needs, their pain and symptoms are controlled, are managed. Yeah. Like I said, we are highly trained, and that's what we do. And then once that's taken care of, then you can address things like what's going on emotionally, spiritually, are there financial issues. I think once you meet, people are comfortable,
right,
and you build that trust, then you can meet the other needs of the patient and the family.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic answer. So speaking of the family, there are some bereavement services available.
Yes. We provide bereavement as soon as the patient comes on service. So we are a part of their experience and the family's experience while the patient's on service. And then following the patient's death, we follow a family for at least 13 months.
Oh, wow.
And in that, we have support groups, we have counseling, we have supportive phone calls and mailings, we have memorial services, 2 of which are coming up in December.
Oh.
So we have our annual Light Up a Life tree lighting service, and that is on Thursday, December the 2nd at 6 o'clock at the Cactus Hotel.
Right.
Where we hang stars and light the big, beautiful Christmas tree and sing together. It's a really beautiful evening. And then we have our more somber candlelight memorial service. And that is on Thursday, December the 16th at 6 p.m. And we host that at Emmanuel Episcopal Church's Great Room. And we remember, we call the names of those that we're remembering. We light candles for them. We have a special speaker and music, of course. And both of those events are unique to each other. They have very different personalities and provide very different kinds of ways to remember our loved ones and include them in the holiday season.
Oh, I'm sure there's just, so much going on, but they get so much out of it, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And we feel like the holidays are a difficult time. And so it's important to us that our families know we're there, we understand that. And even though it's a busy time of year, it's important to remember. And I feel like our 13-month follow-up includes first holidays, first birthdays, first anniversaries, and so it's an important part of hospice care and what we do.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people don't necessarily know about that part, with all those services.
That's right.
Wow.
In addition, we at Hospice of San Angelo, we provide free grief care to anyone in the community who needs it as well.
Wow.
That's one of the things that really makes West Texas Rehab's Hospice of San Angelo different from other providers, and all of our bereavement services are open to community members as well.
Wonderful. So for folks who maybe they're watching this and they're like, okay, I need to get a hold of these ladies, how do they do that? How's the best way?
To call our Hospice of San Angelo number, 325-658-6524, and ask for bereavement services.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on and telling us all about all these wonderful things that you offer and the wonderful care you provide. Are there any final thoughts or messages you want to share?
No, thank you for the opportunity. Yes. And we're just glad to talk about hospice.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Anytime. Come back anytime.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, ladies. And thank you for joining us. That's all for right now. But hey, we'll see you next time.